healthy, it can be unhealthy. Things like anger, even things like wanting to lead, it's very wonderful. It can be a healthy one. But if it's going to be healthy, you have to be open to being a servant. So this morning, I want to explain to you some of the things you must understand if you really want to be a leader. If you don't understand that, you will run into tyranny, you will run into embezzlement. Forget it. Biggest problem, one of the problems we're having in Africa is that the leaders just want to go and secure a future for themselves. So when they get into power, they don't think about any other person. But apart from what they think about is their children, the offshore accounts they will create. But if they really had the mind of the people, they won't be doing what they're doing. Because these people travel outside the country. They go to first world. They see how wonderful it is. But they don't really care if the common man should enjoy that thing there. What they want to enjoy is themselves. So when you see them, they will build a castle, have every amenity in their place, so they're okay. They don't mind if even their roads are not tarred. Like in this state now, the road leading to whoever is there is not tarred. But then when you will know it's tarred is once it's getting to his junction. He's okay with it. You see where the problem is? That's not the point. If all the leaders are servants, we won't have any problem. Now, let's bring it down to the world. If everybody, we've been talking about self-leadership for 3 consecutive Sundays now. If everybody had led himself, we wouldn't have a lot of disputes in the world. Because if problems arise and you are self-led and the other person is self-led, everybody will pipe down low. But because this person wants to show himself and this other person wants to show himself, the whole place will be on fire. That is why we said that before you even think about leadership, you have to lead yourself first. You have to put that yourself under control first. Because if you don't put it under control, you cannot lead another person. We said any man who knows something should be able to lead himself in 4 areas. Apart from the self-leadership. In sleep, in food, in sex, and what? And in what? And in money. These 4 things control virtually every other thing we work for. And if you have gotten a healthy control over that appetite, because those 4 things, they go with hunger, they go with appetite. If you have control over it, you can have control over every other circumstance. You want to beat somebody because you feel you are the boss. But if you are calm, very humble human being, there's no need for that to show that person what you can do. If we keep showing ourselves everywhere, then we will not have anybody to live with. We'll calm down, say, hey, don't show yourself, calm down. Someone say amen. Hallelujah. Glory to Jesus. So let's read 2 other scriptures, then we'll go. Luke chapter 12, verse 48. We'll be writing a lot today because I want to finish the whole thing today. Luke chapter 12, verse 48. But he who do not know yet committed these things deserving of stripes shall be beaten with few. For everyone to whom much is given, from him much will be what? From him much will be what? And to him which much has been committed of him, they would ask the more. Now, the cost of leadership. So, let's say you're here. If you want to get to this top, and all you are seeing is the glamour of the top, the glory of the top, the power that comes with the top, maybe the escort, or maybe the people to control, or the army to control, you are going to fail. In fact, you are already prepared to fail. Because as you are getting to the top, the problems in the top is increasing. So if you are not ready, you are not prepared, those questions are going to be... You see, sometimes, listen to me carefully. You know the way some of you are now, no one will ask you about your life. Listen carefully. That's why I tell people, be very careful what you are doing. You say you have a wonderful future. Be careful about your life now. Because if you get to that future, they will come back to you 10 years ago to bring you down. Treat those things now, because if you don't treat them now, when you get to that place, what you did not treat now will pull you back to this level. If you want a normal life, don't worry, nobody will question you. But if you want the life at the top, be ready for people to ask you questions. Be ready for people to expect more from you. All these times people will now say, is he not a normal human being like us? No, he's the leader. And that's why we expect more from him. And we know we are all flesh and blood, but he's the leader. He's the point man. Moses told Joshua, you must be ahead of the people. So when they want to go to the battle, the leader will go ahead, the ark will go ahead. That's why they say that every leader's sin is a leading sin. The moment he does that, he has corrupted the rest. That's why you have to be very careful. This thing you are looking for, do you have the character? Do you have the discipline for it? If you don't, wait and build the character and discipline. If not, if you jump there, it will pull you down immediately. This is the secret to all these one-season wonders, one-year champions, people who just shine after two years, they are done. Because they couldn't sustain, they have no strong foundation to sustain whatever throne they got into. Now, we're preparing you for 10 years dominion, for 20 years dominion, for 30 years dominion, for 40 years, 60 years, 70 years dominion. That's what we're doing now. So for the next 40 years, what you are doing now would really, really matter. So you hear about some people who will go and lie about their certificates, about some other things. After 10 years, when they now go for the office of the presidency, or office of something, they will now disqualify them. Something they should have taken care of. And now they have spent millions, if not billions, in bribe and every other thing. They take their names to the mud. Now, we see this is what is happening in America. So the president, what happened in 1986? The presidential aspirant for the Democratic Party, what happened in 1986? Is the sex scandal is what is they are bringing up now. And if he knew that he would want to be the president, he would have said no. If Esau knew that that porridge would have made him, rejected him, and fulfilled the prophecy, he would have said, let me even go for 1 week fast. Yet, let me be the heir to the throne. He did not know. Little things can be what will have a bearing to your destinies. Be very careful. It is not those big things that will bring you down. It's those little ones. The scriptures call it little leavens. And leaving like the whole lump. Little things that will destroy. Hey, Pastor, you are so good in every other thing, but just one thing, maybe it's just anger. You can be good in every other. Is that one thing? It's already part of me. Work on it now. Time will come. It will destroy you. Somebody say amen. Now, last week, I was about to finish something, so I will just run it down in 2 minutes. Then we'll move straight back to the cost of leadership, because we know the church is an institute of learning as well. So if you don't come to church with your pen and paper, you are wrong. You're coming to church with your pen and paper because you should write. Your brain, no matter your level of IQ, your brain cannot record everything. You might have the faintest of ideas, but faintest of ideas is not having everything. Okay, so now, how do you start your journey as a leader? I'll rush it. Number one, know your value and stick to them. So know that principle, value, that foundation, stick to it. Don't move away from it. Everybody must not have your principle. So know your own and keep to it. Stick to your value. Don't change your value system because you have to. So if you read the history of the church, Why we broke everything up? It was one church. Why we broke everything up was just because of one thing. The church said that you would not marry a second wife from the time of the apostles. So one of the Pope woke up and had an agreement with King Henry VIII. So bam, he approved it. So when he approved it, what happened? He had already laid the church had laid a foundation for compromise. So because he approved it, they already have a legal, not like a moral ground to ask for more. So after a while, he now returned to come and marry his brother's wife. So, but he was one to approve the first one. So the moment he said, I'm not approving the second one, they broke up. And we now have the Church of England, then the Church in Rome. That's what broke the whole thing up. Simple. If they had known their value, they should not have allowed the first one to happen. Because it was that first one they allowed to happen that gave him the effrontery to go and try the second one. Some of the things you say, let's just leave it, is a one-time thing. It's something that will now eat deep into your leadership structure. Be very careful. If this is what you stand for, if this is what your system stands for, don't move it for anybody. Because once they break it first time, they will come a second time. And when they're coming a second time, they're going for a bigger thing. So some of those compromises you make in the office, so you do one. That one you did, you have given them a check to cash in later for the second one. And that check, your signature is there that if you don't accept it, they will defame your name. Listen carefully. That thing you are approving would bring your downfall. So nobody will find about this. I will just do it one for you. Don't worry. The time he needs something else and he doesn't get it, he will make sure everybody finds about it. And that becomes your downfall in that place. If you know your system, your value, stick to it. Don't move. Move towards purpose. So move towards achieving your purpose. Purpose is what is going to keep you when it is very strong. When the wind is strong, when the storms are strong, purpose is going to keep you there. Number 3, keep improving yourself. If you're not improving yourself, the next person who is improving yourself, with time, will take your place. Are you listening to me? If you're not improving yourself, there is somebody who is in that your clique who is improving himself. Don't worry, whether jealousy or no jealousy, he will take your place. So please don't feel relaxed that you have arrived to any particular thing. Keep improving. So you think now, they call you now, they tell you, hey, I'm the best person in Anambra State. And then you relax. Someone is warming up. 2 people, 3 people are there eyeing your position. So you better keep improving yourself. That's why we say the leader must be miles ahead. How do you become miles ahead? If you're not moving, if you're not improving, remember the people at the back are coming on. So if you don't move, they will come to where you are staying. And if you still don't move or improve, they will go ahead of you. And then once they go ahead of you, what will happen in your system is that it will not start by them calling you and giving the coronation to that person. No, they will, out of the books, start recognizing the other person as the leader. So if they want to do something critical, they will first ask him his opinion. Then bring it to your office to sign because you are the one that has the signature. After a while, it will now be an oh yes thing that we already know that this person is better than the leader. After a while, they will write to the head office. Are you listening to me? If you don't improve yourself, they will take your seat. Because everybody, see that seat you are sitting on, and you think that is your birthright. Somebody else is warming up for that seat. And in life, we need to improve and leave that seat for somebody else. So we go to a bigger seat. Yes. So if you're not improving yourself, my brother, you are dying. I've always told you that that this thing, by God's grace, we should understand that thing, that phrase, by God's grace. By God's grace comes to work when we've started being competent. Once you are competent and you add grace, you can do anything. If you're not competent and you are saying by God's grace, you cannot get to the climax or the zenith of any of your field. You can't get to the top. It's not possible. Does the grace of God work? Yes, it works. It enables. Now, number 4, make mistakes, but never repeat the same mistake. Tell your neighbor, make mistakes, but never repeat the same mistake. Mistakes are allowed. It's part of the way how we learn. But if you repeat it, you are becoming a fool. It's unbecoming of a leader to keep making mistakes over and over again. The same mistakes. There's a problem. It means that the man is not learning. It means that the woman is not learning. Don't make the same mistakes again. And obviously lead by example. So let's go. Now, 6 points or 6 things you must understand when carrying the responsibility of leadership. This leadership, that's why we said the cost of leadership. This leadership is not easy. It's not about the glamour. It's not about the glory. It's about the sacrifices we pay. You must pay the price for anything. Nothing is given to you in this world for free. Even your salvation. Huh? Even your salvation. Someone paid the price. But you also pay a price to keep your salvation by putting your body under check. If I buy this Bible for you, I've paid the price. You have to accept this Bible. That's number 1. For you to accept this Bible, you're accepting it is a price to you. Why am I saying that? Because there are some people who will say, I would never accept anything except I pay the price. So you have sometimes, to some proud people, they have swallowed their pride. But if I give it to you, you must pay the price to keep it in good shape. If not, you will lose it. If you keep throwing it around from time to time, you're throwing it like a ball. After a while, the Bible will be no more. That's what happens to your salvation. It comes free because Jesus paid the price. But if you don't put discipline, you will lose that particular gift God gave to you. So the cost of leadership. I don't want you to see leadership as something that is easy. You know, that's what happens in this nation. It's very unfortunate. Now the leaders think that why they get into governance is to go to Abuja and now be with the big men and be with the big boys. That's why most of our leaders don't live in their constituency. But they tell us that they have heart for the people. What heart? If you have heart for your people, you stay with your people. But they can't stay in their constituency. Because they know that they have not made that constituency conducive for them to stay. We said everybody go back because of coronavirus. How many of them came back? They want to stay in Abuja because if anything happens, at least let them have a good hospital to go to. Because they know in their local constituency, they did not build any hospitals. The common traffic. If the governor of this state were to live in Subena, and the hospital was inside housing, and he was to have 10 minutes or 15 minutes to leave before he gets, I know that before he gets to housing, he will die. Because the roads to those places will take him 20 minutes or 30 minutes. If that thing happens to his son, he will build this road immediately. That's the truth. Because this is not rocket science. But they fail to understand some of this because obviously they have no empathy. They don't even have the commonest one, sympathy. They can't put themselves in people's shoes and they can't even understand people. So it's way out of it. Someone say amen. Am I making someone angry this morning? I heard yes from here. God bless you. Now, the first thing about leadership, the cost is self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice. It means that it will cost you something. It will cost you something. It's not easy. It is not going to be easy. It will cost you even your pride. To be a sound leader, you know that your responsibility has grown. Hey, listen to me. Every Christian should be a leader. Why do we have discipleship? Why do we talk about discipleship in Christianity? So that we train men to be like Christ. We groom men not to be like the apostles of the church, but to be like Christ. And Christ is the perfect model for sound leadership. If every Christian was trained to be like Christ and they really became Christ, there will be no problem in Christianity. It's just that a lot of Christians don't even look like Christ. Hey, you're not a leader because you're a pastor. If you're a leader because you're a pastor, what will happen is you fill your head with head knowledge of the Bible. You won't practice it. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? You do some of the things you preach against because you know, in fact, it's because you think that God just called you to just talk to these people and grow these people. That's what you call them, these people. But I believe that God's system is, if He wants you to lead His people, He will first make you lead yourself. When He called Moses, He said the first thing first, pull off your shoes. Let me start with you, because before I go to Israel, they have to look at somebody. So let me start with you. Pull off your shoes first. That's your shoe you are pulling off. You are removing your old self, everything you believed in. Moses was a magician. He believed in a lot of things. Pull out that shoe. Those things you know, I want to rewire you. Now come and stand there. What I've called you for is something greater than whatever you know. So you can be a professor. That doesn't mean you're a good leader. You're a good Christian leader. So that when we come to church, that's why when we come to church, we don't give you anything based on academic qualification or because you have money. You can have money yet you've not started leading yourself. You can have money and yet you're a horrible person to deal with. You know what is happening is that the value system of this nation has changed. Once you have money, that means that you know everything. And we go to fools to seek counsel because they have money. That's what is happening. We go to fools to seek counsel because they have money. The value system of this nation, if it changes, this nation will change. Everything is not about money. Being wealthy is not just about the money in your bank account. Do you have wealth here? Do you have wealth? You know what wealth? What it means here? You have influence. Forget about money. Public relationship. Do you have it? Self-sacrifice. Now you must understand, in that self-sacrifice, delayed gratification. Subject yourself now. Don't expect to get everything immediately. Don't expect to get the reward immediately. The youths are suffering from this. 2 years, you want blow immediately. 3 years, you want blow like charger. One blow. Everybody want blow. So they want blow. They've not taught them that principle. So even if it will cost a woman's destiny, they will go and sleep with that woman and rubbish her so they can blow. And then they blow for what? Person will blow, they're useless. If something blow, you go use them. You go use charger will blow. But they don't blow since. That's why I tell even some of these my wonderful sisters here, be very careful. Let wealth be explained to you well. This is one story of a lady. She got married. She left the love of her life and married a rich guy. So now found out that every time the rich guy wants to make love to her, he will make sure she's strong. Then in the morning she will just find out that she had intercourse. So one day she informed as though she had been drunk. So the guy left the room and brought a dog. So the dog wanted to sleep with her. He ran. So she wanted to run. The girl was begging. The guy was begging, pleading and everything. But she let her run, and then the guy got mad. So be careful. If you self-lead yourself, you understand that not everything that we want is needful for us. Hey, sisters, if you lead yourself, you would really know the real gold that you want. The real gold is not money. Someone who has gold but does not have 10,000 naira is smiling, because he knows the moment I exchange this gold, I have money. The moment this future or this destiny comes in the right place of exchange, money will come. If you learn to lead yourself, every other thing around you will not lead you, both money or anything you see that is flash. So with the guys, if you learn to lead yourself, every beautiful face you see will not be moving you like 404. It's true. As some men that are like 404, you know what 404 means? My Calabar people will understand well. The prince. Hallelujah. I've never been one to stay up on the podium to entice anybody. I'm obliged to give you the whole counsel of the Lord. If you take it, it will be well with your soul. Someone tell your neighbor, it is well with my soul. Number 2, for being a leader, you must come to terms with loneliness. Hey, Pastor Obiorah. I will explain this in 2 ways. Let me leave this self-leadership first. If you are here and you are not married and you are still talking about weather for 2, something is wrong with you. Are you listening to me? There's something wrong with you. You are not married. Anytime it rains, but did they do me somehow? Now, weather for 2, weather for 2, weather for 2. Something is wrong with you. You know, I'm talking to youths. Hey, learn to deal with that loneliness. If not, it will take you to put you into trouble. Be comfortable standing alone. This negative, unhealthy release of emotion of loneliness have put people into problem. When it comes to leadership, remember, if your value and your system is solid rock on Christ, sometimes you will stand alone to defend it. Paul said that while I was before Pilate, in my defense, no one stood with me. In my defense, no one stood with me. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16. With your value, with your system as a leader, a time will come, you are going to be the only one saying that thing. Keep saying it. After a while, 2 people will start. After a while, 4 will come. After a while, 10 will come. After a while, it will go to 50. From 50, it will go to 100. From 100, it will keep moving till you see people now embrace it. They want to hear you speak it long enough before they are convinced. When you stand alone, after a while, you just go home. They say this person is not serious. He said the same thing with him. You think people are foolish? They want to see your consistency. Consistency is a general constant in every sphere of life. If you're not consistent with whatever you believe or whatever you are doing, you will not succeed in it. That's why we have jack of all trades doing nothing. They'll move from one to this, from this to this. And we don't know them for anything. We don't know them for a principle. What principle do they know you for? What value, what system do they know you for? That is how you are a leader. When we come, we know that this is what this guy stands for. Stand for it. Time will come, they will come for it. Be ready to be alone. I'm not talking about emotions here. But even as a young man or as a young woman growing up, you're not yet married. Be ready to be alone pursuing your dream. When that second person comes, that's wonderful. If not, you will rush into something and rush out. These days, marriage is now they like passport. Wait and take. After 5 months, I know they do again. Yes. It's true. Because they felt that the reason for marriage is just loneliness. Lonely what? You can be with somebody and still feel empty and lonely. So please understand some of these things. It will help you. I always tell people, be very intentional about whatever thing you are doing, both your love life and your relationship life. Because I've seen people who claim that they loved each other. By now, they still send assassins to kill each other. So you see this love, it is not the first principle of marriage or relationship. It is commitment. If you are not ready to commit, forget everything you are saying. Someone say amen. Number 3, fatigue. Oh, time will come when you are tired. Expect it. They will wear you out. I'm tired of him. I know they do again. I don't do again, no. Fat. I don't resign. Tell these boys. You started serving somebody for 4 years. It remained 3 years. He said, I know they do again. This man now wish. 4 years, it was not a wish. It don't remain 3 years. Come out. I'm too tired of this thing you are doing. The way out. Be ready for that. Oh. Know how to renew your strength. Know how to renew your strength. That time you are tired, know when to encourage yourself like David did. And David encouraged himself in the Lord. Apostle Paul said in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 16, he said, outwardly we are wasting away. You know what that means? If say now worry people, they go say we don't die here. I don't die. But we're gonna push up. Learn how to push. Even when you're tired, don't give up. Life is saying give up. Why is he saying you should give up? Because he knows you are so close. You see, the greatest mistake you can do is to give up. That's why you should be very careful before you get into any vision. Count the cost. Because once you enter, don't go out. Some of your visions by now, it would have gotten to the next level. But you stopped last year or this year. Because you thought it's not going anywhere, and then they told you it's your village people. Or you decided to now call yourself and now said, God called me. Because you couldn't succeed after a little while. No. People who run this race, like the scripture we read 3 weeks ago, They are running to obtain the prize. So whether they are tired, they will still run till they get to the finish line. When they now get to the finish line, they can now rest. If you're not yet in the finish line of your race, don't rest. Don't stop and sit down. Learn how to preserve energy. So you see these people who are running, sometimes when they're getting tired, they open their mouth. Or sometimes when they want to run, they start chewing gum. They don't look back, because once they look back, distractions are coming. If you're in the war front and you're shooting, your aim should be going to wherever you are going. Because once you're looking back, you see other people who are being shot and who are dying, and you think you are next. You stop running. One of the greatest things that has caused accidents in this world is, hey, Jesus. When they're meant to run, they will now stay in one place. Hey. They saw the car and they thought that the car will hit them when they would have just crossed the street. They will now freeze. Then the car will now use them for Google. So, number 4, be ready for criticism. Be ready to be criticized. Because it will come. If they don't criticize you, you are nobody. You are not doing something well. You are not achieving, you are not getting to the top. The moment you start achieving, they will find a way to criticize you. Even Jesus, they called him names. So who are you not to be criticized? If my Savior was criticized, who are you? I won't say what you want me to say. You know, every time a leader makes a decision, someone's will be violated. Do you know that? Anytime you make a decision, there's somebody it must affect. So if you are very apologetic, there's a problem. Even if you keep quiet, you are violating someone's will. Someone who wants you to do something. You decided to be a Christian. Someone is not happy. You are rising as a standing star. Someone whose star is already there as the only one is saying, who is here coming to share my star with me? You must be open to criticism, anyways. Absorb it. Don't throw it away. Absorb it. Gather it together and build something. Learn to know when something is corrective and when something is just pure hatred and pure jealousy. Every criticism is not bad. Some people are critical analysts. Some people are just, they have to do it. The people you focus your attention are those people who you know they are coming from a genuine point. Those people who are just doing it because they're haters, or they have to just do their jobs. Don't pay much attention to them. But the problem is that you are paying much attention to the people you are not meant to be paying attention to. In every nonsense you say people are talking, at least there is sense there. Pick it up. Don't throw away everything. Learn that, because now what we have in this generation of young men and women is everybody is a hater. Even a 12-year-old get haters. Even people with 9 years these days get haters. My haters. I'll keep shining and balling. If I catch you, I'll knock sense into you. And these are the people who want to help your life, and you're calling them haters. I know you are white. Oputazie ka ogbo egwu ochu onwe afa. But bodyguard no na go oga something there. Who are you to stop me? Do you know this is an entourage? Be ready to listen. Sometimes it can come from your wife. Hey, people talk to you. I don't like the way you ladies reason. My friend, after flaring up like the Lion of the tribe of Judah, you calm down and listen to what your wife told you. If some of you have been listening to your wife, some of the unfortunate things happening to you in your life will not happen to you. Because then your life strategically for something. You see, in life decision, you have to see things from two angles. If you can't see it from the angle of a woman, you will be in trouble. As a married man. So, as a young man, don't go and be looking for I want to see it from the angle of a woman. But as a married man, it's very important. That's when you become complete. Hey, listen carefully. Jesus, God made them two, one. So, listen, your decisions start becoming balanced more when you get married. You are seeing it from the best of both worlds. That's why you should be careful who you marry. Not that marry someone, they removed her knot. Remove the brain, put sponge, iron sponge. Those people are dangerous for you and for your future. Better marry people who have working brains. Maybe beauty, you know, go chop beauty. You know, go chop. Hi, honey, I want to eat. Oh, just look at me. Would that help? Hey, honey, what do you think about this business? Do you know what Emeka said yesterday? You're in trouble, my brother. Just come. We need to pour olive oil. You are in trouble. You need people to reason with too. When the whole world is on fire, you come back. Whether as a man or as a woman, you need to find the other person that will blend that. Someone say amen. Am I making anybody angry? If you have iron sponge in your head, come to me. Some men have iron sponge too. The only thing they will discuss is what if I pick 2 million naira? What if I pick 500,000? Bros, what if I come out there now? 300,000 just there. Hey. They want to be higher than the most high. You know, those people who are always in the bush finding something. So if you have such to come, you have spare. We lay hands on you. Don't worry. The words you are hearing, you know, the word of God does a lot of things in people's life. People don't know what coming to church can do for you. After 6 months, you find out the way you are thinking has changed. Yes, sir. It's just coming small. Don't worry. After 6 months, they look at you. But this boy, they think. I was talking to someone, say, Pastor Piamore. That was last year. I was like, yes. Hear it more. You need to hear it. I need you to change that way of thinking. Some of you, your 2 plots in this land has gone up with smoke. You've used your hand and smoked your 2 plots up. It's true. You calculate, they tell you there's no money. But I got every day. They must drink every day, but there's no money. If you use that way, you must find money for that addiction. You will still find money for your vision. But you think that your addiction is better than your vision. And that situation. Some people are going about wearing 2 plots of land in their head. Whereas there's nothing in this brain. You are wearing someone's retirement benefit or holding it on whereas they don't have anything. You see, misplacement of priority. God will help us. Number 5, you must deal with rejection. Rejection is not loneliness. You must deal with when people with no, I cannot. You must deal with it. You must learn how to deal with it. If you don't learn how to deal with something like that, there's a problem. Hey, I always tell my ladies, be strong. If someone says no to you or disappoints you, he's the foolish person because he doesn't know who you are. The scripture says that the prophets are rejected in their own land. They don't even know. After a while, after he had gone, they now realize. When they say no to you, tell them no problem. Somebody who has brain would come and see the real gold. If they tell you gold is in this land, you will say it's not true. Because it can be a dump. You see, everything God creates, He hides it. And wherever it is, when you come there, if you with your natural senses, you will say it's a dump. That's why you see big men, they will tell you they bought a dump site. And you are claiming that the man is foolish. The next thing, he has fenced it. For 2 years, you don't know what's happening there. He's excavating things from the ground. But you said it's dump. Whereas he bought wealth. When they say no, no problem. Learn how to dust yourself up. Don't wait for another person to encourage you. Encourage yourself. Talk to yourself. Obviously, you have the Holy Spirit in you anyways. Don't slide to depression. Don't slide to self-pity. Self-pity will slide you into failure. We did not come to this world to look at your face. Nobody did. Look at your own face in the mirror. Talk to yourself, prophesy to yourself, tell yourself how great and wonderful God created you. One day, they will stand and they will come back. And then you decide what to do with them. They rejected Joseph, but they never knew they rejected their Savior. And he was there waiting for them to still come back. He now set them up with a cup, a goblet. And when they came, he removed his wig and said, "This is the boy you rejected." The stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Learn to deal with it. Number 6, inconvenience. Everything will not go the way you planned. Everything will not come to your own comfort. See all these people who are looking for luxury when they have not made a level of, they've not paid a level of price, they cannot succeed. I'm telling you the truth. If you've paid the price, then you can look for convenience. You can look for luxury. But if you have not paid the price, don't look for convenience and luxury. That's how I know young men. They want to groove. You are grooving for what? You have not done anything. Small 5,000 enter, but no, shut up town with 5,000 there. They will shut down with 5K. Move, show them. That's why, they make 100,000. Their first 100,000. They want to show that girl that said no to them. They don't make them. Whereas the person who broke their hand is counting in millions. You see, a high jump, you go climb, you go come down very soon. And he will be very foolish. They will eat the money after eating the money. So, boy, if you tell me, we're useless, man. Not me. Jantofu. I'm telling you the truth. Please, when you are starting this your journey, be ready to lay your head anywhere. Because you know where you're going to. You would not continue in inconvenience for the rest of your life. But for now, be ready for anything. Be a soldier. When generals But you see generals now, sometimes they now start having stomach. When they were corporals, that stomach was not there. So now you that want to be a corporal, you want to have their stomach. I say, after all, we can't kill ourselves. That song has destroyed a lot of Nigerian youth. I can't kill myself. Oh. No. See, young people, they are already pregnant. When you marry, what will you now carry? You will not have triplets inside. Can you walk with that kind of heavy load? You are in labor. How can someone in labor be walking? I'm telling you, when I see young men who have a very funny rendition of stomach, I don't find it funny. If you see them, you tell them, my brother, how many months? Investment? No. Yes. Be ready for anything. I cannot do this. That's the problem with some sisters. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. That's why you're not independent. I cannot do this. If we tell you how people fold their shirts and go for work, see, do it. You make the money and clean up yourself. They do, I cannot do it. You become welfare for life. It's true. People, if you want to become welfare for life, keep saying I cannot do it. It's true. That's so. Pastor, go and do anything for now. So that tomorrow you don't come and tell us, God says the Lord, when he has not said anything. Hey, you see someone who he has wonderful gold, he has. When you see him, when you pass him, you show the Lord said something. Your name. You know his name. Chi something. Say Chidugo. Oh yes, Chidugo. Baby, give me some. No. It's true. Rather than do that, go and walk. The bishop told us, I've shared this thing with you. One day he went to Kano Street here with one carton of pomade. He went there. The man said, "Oh, see this pastor carrying pomade on the head." They called him. They called the street. They rallied around him and we are dancing, singing for him, and stood in water. Fast forward. After some time, the man came back to the company. He wants to be his distributor. Every Saturday, the man will load a trailer load of that same product to Lagos. A trailer load. But if you was say, I'm a man of God, I shouldn't do anything, It's for the blessings of the people. Let them bring it. These prophets, they have this one voice. Hello, brother. I can see your future. Small. And they teach you how to. Your voice is sweet, No. Don't go and learn that thing. Go and walk. There is dignity in labor. Okay, let me end with this. 2 things a leader must know. You must know, one, the price of the high calling is very high. That price to pay is very high. The price of the high calling in Jesus, you must understand that at whatever cost, you must do that. Number 2, good leaders must know that they cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. Even God had to have 12. After the 12, he had the 72. After the 72, he had the 120. Had teams. So so in team building, we have the smallest cells, the smallest unit. we'll have the medium unit, and we'll have the bigger unit. Jesus also had the team of 3: Peter, James, and John. And then he had the 12 when he came to the bigger ones. He had the 72. If he came to building the larger crowd, he had the 120. You think you can do it alone? That's why you see in ministry, you see people, they want to prophesy, the same time be the teacher, the same time be the apostle, the same time do everything. In fact, they will even share the grace and do everything. They will sing, they would do the choir song, and if they cannot, their wives will be the ones to do it. So it is your family, it is your family gospel church. So that's why, if once it's the family gospel church, once the grace is done, wherever he's sitting, it is not people he's looking at. He's looking at the offering box. Tell that lady not to touch that thing. No. Mommy, go and take it to the booth. Yes, that's what they've reduced Christianity to. They've reduced their wife to the treasurer, so she will be the one to now collect the money and put in the booth. No, na palo can an account to go church. The moment they don't see Elder A's tight, they call him, my brother, you are backsliding. I don't see, the Lord told me to help you. You didn't ask him whether he sold anything this month. Our God will help us. But in everything, we are very grateful. So the summary of these whole things: do not go into leadership because you want to rule over people. Leadership is not rulership. God called you to lead his people, not to rule over his people. Just like we said that the dominion mandate is not to oppress people, it is to actually help men and to do the will of God. If you understand that you're a leader, you must understand that you can do anything for the sake of the vision of God. So that's why if you're a leader, you don't see whether you are wearing white or you're not wearing white. If the church of God is dirty, you clean the church, no matter your color. Yesterday I was one that said the seat. After they finished it, and I came and said the seat. There's nothing we cannot do. When this church was starting, I could easily pay for the church to clean the whole place. We did here. This place was a club before, if you don't know. We packed up this place was so stinky. I cannot stay where they drink, but this place was so stinky. You know, now we removed shirts, we cleaned the whole place, cleaned it from A to Z. I still have some of the pictures. This one was on singlet. Even the admin pastor was on singlet. We cleaned the whole place. We not this is our God. They see us not with our shirt. He knows us as we take them. A leader, you must be simple, be humble, lead people. It's not about you, it's not about your family, it's about the people you are leading. It's not an easy thing, but the grace of God is always sufficient. Don't be a sympathizer. You know what I mean by sympathizer? Don't be a sympathizer. Everybody must be happy. They cannot be happy. Do the right thing. As long as you know you are doing the right thing. The people who will be angry most will be those people benefiting from a bad system. Are you listening to me? Those corrupt people. If they are the people who are angry with you, you don't have any problem. They'll be wise so that they don't bold as a lion. Gentle as though, wise as serpent. Stand to your feet.